Today I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Today I'm gonna tell you a story about a friend of mine named James. My buddy named James, I met him in a club. This was back in 2007. And we was in Chicago at the time. And when we met at the club, he was a cool guy, real nice guy. We started partying a lot together. And we would always hang out on the weekends when he get off of work. He was a postal worker at the time. He's making good money and doing a great job. Everything was good. But then one thing about James, he liked to party a lot. So every time James, and when he party real hard. So every time James go out, he went hard on his partying. So one time he went partying, and he stayed at the party a little too late. His wife had called. He had a girl, and his wife had called him to come home. He said, "No, I'm gonna hang out a little bit longer," and he ended up drinking, getting drunk, and going home with a woman that he didn't know, an unknown woman.
Oh.
And then when he went home with her, he ended up having sex. He was so drunk, he didn't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? He just woke up. He said, "Man, it was like 3." He told me it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. He wake up and he was like, "Man, I was just at this chick house. I just left and went home." So when he made it home, you know what I'm saying, everything was cool. A couple weeks went by. Next thing you know, James was just hanging out. We was chilling, and he got a call. And he was like, "Man," he just looked real crazy when he got this call. I'm like, "What's wrong?" You know what I'm saying? He was like, and he was talking to his girl on the phone, and his girl was like, "Man, come home." But when James went home, he found out that she was finna kick him out. That night, he didn't know, he didn't think that he got away with not knowing what happened. Thank you. Without knowing what happened, you know what I'm saying, from that wild night out with old girl. But what actually happened was, James caught a disease from old girl, the girl that he had a one-night stand with. And he gave it to his girlfriend. And that's how she found out that he had a disease. I mean, that ain't how she found out that he had a disease. That's how she found out he cheated on her. And she left him. And at the time, James was just distraught. He had a kid by the girl, so she ended up leaving him, taking the kid away from James, leaving him, taking the house. He had the home, took him to court and all that stuff. So James really messed up everything behind that. But when he was talking to me, we had a little conversation. We was hanging out after the situation had developed, and he was telling me like, "Man, I don't got nothing." And he was like, "Man," I'm like, it could have been a lot worse." I was like, "You could have been dead. You could be dead because you didn't use protection." You know what I'm saying? Instead, you know what I'm saying, it was a disease that was curable. He caught chlamydia from the girl and passed it to his girlfriend. And she was able to get cured, but at the time, it still ruined his life as far as his family and being with his girlfriend and stuff like that. So James ends up he was working and stuff. He's still working. Then he lost his job because he couldn't get to work because his girl had the car and took the car and stuff like that. So James started going down. You know what I'm saying? Everything started going down for James. James ended up on the ground. So now James on the streets. Now I was helping James a little bit, and me and James were still hanging out, and then he ends up. My man James, he had a problem. He had stress from being on the street, so he started using drugs. So when he started using crack and dope. So once James started using that, he couldn't find out what was going on. He had no money to even pay for it. So what James started doing, he started male prostitution. And I was like, wow, you know, I had to get away from him, but I mean, that's to each his own. I just told him to be safe. But James wasn't safe. James just wanted some drugs. So what happened to James, he ended up contracting HIV. And time passed, James had a disease. He ended up in June 2012, James passed. And James left from here. And all that to say, James could be anybody. James could have been me, anybody, because he was drunk. You know, his life went down from just being, you know, from one wrong mistake. It wasn't much he done to say James a bad guy and that's why he in a bad situation. I mean, it can happen to anybody. So what can we do not to be James? Is just always try to have protection. You know what I'm saying? Sexually transmitted diseases are one of the main causes of death. You know what I'm saying? In transmitted disease. Yeah. Good. So everything, you know, say it starts. One of the main things in protection, what we can do is use a condom. Condoms is the #1 safest thing. It's no 100% safety and protection for from sexually transmitted disease, but condom is far more the best protection. Now you can it's other protections such as diaphragms and stuff like that. You know, but none of that stuff.
Species of the same kind.
Yeah.
My wife.
So it's a lot of stuff that we can learn just by using. I mean, it's a lot of stuff we can save just by using a condom. You know what I'm saying? So condoms is foremost important to us. We need to use condoms. It's urgent, you know, for us to use protection as men to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? For our women to have more babies. You know, sexually transmitted disease causes us keep us from having babies. As such, just give you a little info. Chlamydia here in Hawaii is #3 in the nation. You know, and that's big. You know, that's big. And this is not, as we know, the islands is small. You know, so you can see somebody twice. So this place is kind of, you want to protect yourself. As far as gonorrhea, it's #17 in the United States of cases of gonorrhea. It's #19, and also syphilis is #5 in the United States. So again, just reasons for us to protect ourselves. You know what I'm saying? No matter where we at or who we are, it can be anybody, and we always got to protect ourselves. Again, no form of protection is guaranteed 100%. You know, as many different forms of protection we can use to protect ourselves, but it's just best to have some form of protection. I also have some information. Where can we, like, if we do get contact with a disease, or we know somebody that got a disease, it's information available. The STD HIV prevention branch, which is located, I have information where it's located. It's close in the facility where you can report diseases or get tested, and also get more information to learn about diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. Now, like I said, we all could be James. We can't save James. James probably couldn't save himself. It's not much he could have said. So all we can do is just protect ourselves. And the key is to stay protected and you know, enjoy ourselves. But last thing I'm gonna say is it feels good to have sex without a condom, but it feels better to live healthy if, you know what I'm saying, if you could just live healthy. Here. And I'm going to leave y'all with that, you know what I'm saying. God bless, and we going to stay protected, you know what I'm saying. Thank y'all for y'all time.
Thank you.